All right, hey, what's up? Thanks for joining me this evening. Tonight I'm going to be working on a client's website that I've kind of just fallen behind on, so looking forward to getting some stuff done. This was actually one of the first NextJS and PayloadCMS projects I worked on, so it definitely needs some love. I've learned a lot, and that means that I've got a lot of new things that we need to implement, and it's a little bit of a mess behind me right now. There's some boxes and some stuff, but hopefully that's not too distracting, and it will barely be noticeable when I go into like the little corner area. So I'm excited to get into this project. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you will see and be like, ooh, why did you do it that way? And honestly, I'm going to see a lot of stuff like that too, so it's going to be an adventure together. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. So let me, I just gotta roll up our, the starting page that I want to work on. So I'm just gonna log in real quick before sharing my screen. But yeah, it's been a little while before I've touched this project. So I'm a little nervous about how some of the code is going to work, if it will even work. But we will see. So, all right. So the first thing that I want to fix is here. So there we go. So the problem that I'm running into right now is I've got this blocks layout. So I'm going to collapse all of these, and then I can add a block. And if I add a different block, oh, it just works now. Okay, so this isn't an issue. What was happening in, and I can actually do this in production. Let me go back to my face real quick. Log me in. Yeah, and I don't really have permission to show, like this isn't an open source website, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful about what I share and what I don't share, but all of like the code and stuff is mine anyway. All right, so back to the pages, share screen again. So if I collapse all these sections and hit add block, oh, of course, now it's just going to work. Great. So for some reason, it wasn't working before. Oh, well. All right, so I can cross that off the to-do list. That one was easy. All right, what else we got? All right, so I want to add a page. So if I go, leave anyway, back to like our series, I can come in here, and I did create this Go to page. Okay, so I already have this done too. So let's go ahead and handle that. Oh, all right. So next thing, we're just crushing it right now, guys. All right, so we have a tag manager code here. So I don't want this to be active while we're in development mode. So what I'm gonna do is, at least I think, do process.env.node equals production. And that way the code doesn't render while I'm in development mode. So now if I go to localhost, honestly in here it should go away too. But I won't see my GTM tag anymore. Correct, okay. But if I do this as development, oh, well, hopefully I don't distract you too much from all of the old code that I have running right now. But I appreciate you tuning in. All right. So, okay, so there's my GA4 tag. Okay, so all of my tags are back. Great. All right, so let's set this back to production. And that one is set. So I'm just working on a bunch of bug fixes right now on a project that I hardly ever worked on. So another thing, where was this? Disable GA4. I've got a whole to-do list over here. I can actually probably share this to-do list, honestly. What do we have in here? Cool. Yeah, so a couple things going on. I'm not really starting at this top here because I don't know if I have the brain power to come back to it. But I want to be able to revalidate a sticky banner. So if we go back to here, there's this sticky banner that's at the top. But in development, if there's a change to the banner, it won't revalidate unless I resave the global that it's a part of. But I think we can handle this similarly to how we do our overall globals. So if I look for our global settings config, and we look in here, we should have a revalidate global settings. Perfect. And so I'm just going to take this and we're going to go to our sticky banners and add a new, let's do a new directory called hooks. And this will have revalidate sticky banner .ts. And so this should be an after change hook. So I'm importing the global after change hook and getting our revalidate tag from next cache. And then here we can change this to revalidate sticky banner. Let's wrap that. And then we have here that we're going to revalidate sticky banner. And then our global, which is going to be the slug of sticky banner, which should just be sticky banner. I'm going to double check that by going to the config because we have to anyway. Oh, good thing I checked. And so those just joining, working on some bug fixes using just an old project that I've had that I've been working on. Kind of been working on. It's not been a whole lot of work done to this project. So there's a lot to fix is what I'm trying to say. So what this is doing in our revalidate sticky banner is we have our import type of after change hook. We have our revalidate tag from next cache, and then I'm using that after change hook type to define what I'm trying to do. So we want to log that we're revalidating the sticky banner, and then we're going to revalidate the tag of sticky banners and then return the document. So this is the first step, honestly. So we have to go back into here and do a hooks, and then we're going to do an after change hook, and then we can do our revalidate sticky banner. Okay. But why no work? This always happens to me. After change, revalidate global settings, revalidate sticky banner. It says after change hook is not assignable to type after change hook any. Oh, this is a collection config. It's not a, that would do it. All right, so we're not doing a global after change hook. We're doing a collection after change hook. Cool. And then that should fix our type issue here. Perfect. Then we need to change how we're fetching our sticky banner. So we're going to do something similar to how we are doing our page here, where we have, oh, it's query event. Oh, that works. So we're going to query, how am I doing this now? Let's go to our layout.tsx. And then we have our sticky banner at the top here. Here. All right, globals sticky banner. Okay, interesting. So, is there a way to actually revalidate the sticky banner on save? There should be. So we have our get cached global. So what if I do get cached global? Okay. Oh, so I need to go back to our sticky. I need to close some things. I don't need this right now. I don't need this. Let's just close everything I'm not working on right now. Media, series button. Excuse me. Cool, general date. I'm not working on this. Not working on this. Get URL, not working on that. Jeez, I have so much open right now. Const global, that's get globals. So I'm working on that, working on this. All right, so revalidate globals. So this is actually a collection. And I wonder if this is going to work like I want to. Because I need to find a way to tag. So what this is doing is it's revalidating the tag of global settings. And over here in our get globals, it's doing that for me. So now, okay, so maybe this should work. Let's give it a shot. So let's create in our sticky banner block, is it? Nope. And part of this is like, I don't know why I thought I should do some of the things that I did. After clickable link, not what I'm looking for. Graphics, utilities. Sticky banners, okay. Hooks. I know I have this defined somewhere. It must be under nav. Yep, sticky banner. And then here, do I define it in the, or do I get it in here? We get the sticky banner from our global settings. So I don't actually think this is going to work unless we were to set like an active let's not give up quite yet. All right, so I guess I could revalidate it with a route maybe, where am I overthinking this? Probably. Let's do, so we have our different configs over here. After change, revalidate. Yeah, there's no path. So we would need a way to just revalidate the sticky collection itself. And then retrieve it And I don't really want to do like a if globals equals, oh, I could find by ID. All right, so let's try this. What we'll do is let's go to our page here. And so we're going to take our query page, which is a function used to query the page. Doesn't need to really explain that one. But then we're going to go to our layout where we're getting the sticky banner. And outside of this, we're going to define a query page, but really this is going to be a query banner. Query the banner, and we're not really looking for the slug. We're going to find by ID though. And instead of where, we'll do an ID where we'll take ID. ID is a string. I don't think I need a where query here. Oh, I don't need a limit one either. Perfect. So now what we should be able to do is get our banner. So we'll do const equals, can I get it from the globals? So it's globals dot, where are you? Sticky banner. So I can pull that out, and then we can do const banner equals query banner, and then we get our ID, which is sticky banner dot ID. Now, oh wait. Banner is not a page though. Banner. Make sure I don't have any other reference to pages in here. Okay. So we have our sticky banner. So const banner is type of sticky banner from our payload types. Property ID. Okay. So here, let's say, so sticky banner ID. Oh. So let's pull, because I think that's kind of a given. We're getting the type. Can I do it here? Sticky banner. Nope. Okay. So TypeScript still is beyond me a little bit, but what we can do is do const sticky banner. Perfect. That worked. That's the first time autocomplete, co-complete, whatever, helped me out. Great. Love it. All right. So we have our banner, and then we need to put that into right here. So if the banner exists, we get our sticky banner container. So now we should be able to, of course, like this is not going to change here. So I'm going to have to do a p npm build and let this build. And while this is building, because this may take a minute, we're working on the sticky banner revalidation to make sure that that works. I need to make sure, I was working on a Google My Business thing. I just need to make sure that that's not included in anything. And it looks like it is. So what I can do though, it's fine that it's there. It's just, it's going to mess up my project when I deploy because it's not ready to go yet. So I want to leave that there, but we just need to go into the git ignore and we can do, oh good. Okay, so our build is complete. And we'll do, what is it? Source, app, pages, and then we'll do, oh, it's not pages, it's API and we'll do GMB just so that doesn't get added in a future one. So then I can do git add all, and hopefully, well, we'll come back to it. Let's do p npm start. So now we have built and we're starting, so our static generation should be working. And now what we want to do is make things legible first. Now what will happen, since we built and we did not do our, where is it, revalidate sticky banner. Oh, this is in here. So we'll see if this works, and then we'll just double check that it actually makes a difference by then brain work, please, by removing this after change hook and seeing what happens. All right, so we're gonna go and we're gonna go to our collections and we're gonna go to our sticky banner, and then we're going to find this one here, and then we hit save, and if we refresh, nothing happens. So, and this is being used. Revalidating sticky banner. Oh, I revalidated tag. What path would we revalidate? So maybe I need to change how this is done. So we have that cache here. If we look at our git globals, let's go ahead and close the terminal down, and since this is built, we should hold off on that. All right, so then we have our query banner that's equal to okay, so what I think I have to do is then do const git cached banner equal to we'll say slug, which will be okay, so then let's do our type, do it below our to-do list here. We can do our type of collection equals key of config collections, which I think we're gonna have to import our config here from our payload types, which we do. Perfect. So then we have our slug, which will be a collection, depth equals 0. And then we want to do an unstable cache. And again, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just experimenting here. And then we'll do an async query banner. Yes, so we'll need the ID. Slug depth. Okay, so this needs to be, so slug, yes, depth, yes. And then we'll use the slug here. And then our tags, which will be collection slug. So depth. Expected one arguing about 2. Interesting. All right, so we're going to set this actually to be ID. Or actually, is it ID? We'll see if this actually works. Okay. Slug is a collection. I don't know why depth then. Query banner. Slug depth. Unstable cache. Async. Oh, okay. I understand now. Okay. Well, that's a problem then, because we're going to need... maybe we can still do ID string. And we can just do ID, ID. And then let's just set this to... I already know what this is going to be, so we can do sticky banners. That's too much autocomplete there. Okay. ID, this is going to be ID. All right, so we can try all this again. So let's get rid of this. And if this doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. But anyway, so we can do get cached banner. And then we need to do this. I guess this needs a depth, which we'll do 1. And then U. Perfect. All right. Cool. Well, we'll see if this works then. Do terminal, and let's get it. We're gonna have to build again. Oops. So we'll let that build. And then what we'll do, so we're waiting on that. Let's look at our to-do list again. Ooh, sorry. And again, if this doesn't work, we'll just undo what I just did. And it's not going to be the end of the world, honestly. I think we'll be okay. Okay, so we're built. Let's go ahead and do pm start. Now, of course, we're started. Oh, still didn't change anything. Great, okay. So we're there. We can set this and just save it. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's see what happens if we go to our global settings. And then if we save this, that just works. Okay, so this isn't quite working like I want it to, and that's okay. We just tried it. Doesn't work like I thought it would, but I want the sticky banners to be a collection because it is like, I don't want to have to keep creating new banners, or like banners are repeated sometimes. So it's better to just have a collection of many different banners that I can edit as needed. All right. Let's clean this up a little bit. And then we don't need config or sticky banner anymore. And get rid of that. Perfect. So we can just cross that off the to-do list because it's not going to work. Wrong button. I'm going to strike it through, but not check it off. All right, so now we can do a hook to, hold on, let me see if there's anything more important than this. Let's see. My links, okay. Okay, simplify schema. Yes, this to-do list has gotten so long. Let's change how we do. We can start with pagination. I kind of want to do this index now thing because I think it'll be easy. Yeah, let's do that first. All right, so what we need to do, if we go to indexnow.org, documentation, what we're going to do is, first things first, we need to host a text file or hosting a key within your host. Can I do this in the DNS though? It does not look like I can use DNS. You can also host one to many too. If you submit a set of URLs to the problem though is like this is saying that it needs to be private, but hold on, you must host to submit URLs, you must prove ownership of the host for which URLs are being submitted by hosting at least one text file within the host. Once you submit your URLs to search engines will crawl the key file to verify ownership and use the key until you change the key. Only you and the search engine should know the key and your file key location. But I have to include it in the root directory of my host, which is going to be exposed in my Git repository. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, so we're going to come back to this because I don't want to have to deal with security stuff at this time anyway. All right. So this is the Google My Business or Google Business Profile stuff I was working on, but we'll come back to that. All right, let's change how we do pagination because I don't like how this is done right now. Oops, I should start, because what happens is when I load this up, pages, let's where are we? Messages, okay. Now I can do page. So right now what we have going on is instead of using search params, I'm using the another route, and it's just extra code that doesn't make sense. I don't need it. So what we can do is in our args, we're going to create search params. I think type args params. Yep, so under here we can do search params. And then this is going to be, I always forget what search params need to be. So NextJS, then search param types. Search params, here we go. So we're going to need, we'll do this way, okay. Asynchronous page. All right, I'm in a page, so params, search params. So I guess I don't really need a promise, but here we are anyway. So in here, we're going to have a key with string, which will then be string, string, don't need any of that. Okay, so now We're also not going to need to generate static params. I don't even think we can at this point. So then in here, we're going to need our search params. And then do just const search params. Oh, I'm going to use so search is not going to exist on search params, and that's okay. Oh, is it defined as P? All right. Well, hold on. So we're going to go back, and then we have our page. And that is how we're going to do it, though. So I think we just need to make this so it's not required. Oh, it's already not required, so I think it needs to be required. There we go. So yes, we're still going to use our P here. So we have our page. Perfect. So all of that should be right. And then we're going to, we have our meta. This all could change too, but we'll worry about that later. And then we'll do the same thing here, search params, and then do constant P, await search params. And then what we're going to do I don't even think I needed to do all of that because I have this here. But what I do need to change is our current page and previous page. So in pages, instead of us doing this, we'll do a question mark. And then P equals that. And then same thing here, where we'll do a question mark, P equals that. So now if I hit save, you should see down in the bottom corner, maybe, well, either way, if I click on this, yep, all right, so I hit P, but nothing's happening because I'm doing something different. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're no longer going off the params, we're going, so I need to set this to be page and that to go away. So now when I hit this to go to 2, here, let's refresh. Still nothing happens. Okay. So let's log our page. I think it needs to be, hold on. I don't know if this is going to work like I want it to. Oh, that's wrong anyway. There we go. Now let's try this. There we go. So we've got page 2, page 1. Perfect. And now that means I shouldn't have to have this page here. So first, before I do that though, so if I hit this page, yeah, so we'll need to do P page, comment that out, and now we see page 2 here at the top. Perfect. So that looks good to me. All right, and so that's just one of the collections though. So we're going to do this again. First, I want to make sure that I can truly delete that. And I think I can, because I don't think I have anything in my sitemap with pages. But let's make sure. Messages. Nope. Okay, so let's go make sure again, so we're going to go to our page, into here, and that's not going to have any usages because I'm just pulling in the message template from the main one. So I can delete this, and that's in good shape, which means then we can make this a little bit more simple as well, where now we'll do our search params, and we'll again do a promise. And in this promise, we'll have our key string, yes, yes, yes. And then we are no longer using our params, but we'll leave them, search params. We'll do page await search params. And then we'll do the same thing down here, where we can do our search params. Page search params, and then that should take care of all of that stuff. So we're going to get rid of you. We'll leave the messages up, and we can get rid of this one here. Delete. Then this should be the last thing we need to do, where we find our args again and do search params. Yes, thank you, autocomplete, for being smart. We don't need to generate static params anymore because I don't think we can. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that, honestly. All right, and then messages, let's go ahead and delete this as well. And then go back to our messages, no, events. Okay, so events, we can then also, where is our, okay, so I don't think I ever generated static params here. Well, no, that can't be true because I have had caching issues with this site. Oh well. I guess I don't have it. Generate. Yep, all right. So then we come here, we got our search params. Then we can do search params. And we grab y'all. And then we can do our search params here. Perfect. All right, so, oh, one other thing that we need to do though is change. Oh, I think I already did this. Yep. I'm so smart sometimes. Okay, so I believe we can check that off our box then. So we don't need to fix generate static params because we changed pagination to use search params instead. So that means then we have our events, that's good, and then I can get rid of this. And of course we should test this, so I'm going to. We have all media. And then we have our recent series. And then previous. Oh, that's not even what I'm looking for. Go. Page 2. All good. Great. Perfect. So good there. So I think we might want to do a little bit of cleanup. So that's actually done. I don't really need this, the 10 minutes of time-based revalidation. Okay. fix undefined date. It says media. This is why I should be more specific in my notes. Need to fix undefined date. Series card.tsx. Oh, if I go to our media. Okay, yeah, I don't see undefined. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's see, what else do we have that we need to work on? We could do some pages and whatnot. I don't really want to do anything styling related. I mean, honestly, no, categories are going to be a little bit more difficult. But I could kind of set up the, so if I go here, I just don't want to have to like work out all of the logic on this right now. But what we could do is here on the pages in our search params, we could also get our category. I think I'll just spell it out for this. So here we can do all messages, and then I can do category question mark. If so, we can do about, category, or just nothing. So that shouldn't change anything here. But I can then do something like category equals. All right, so we can then do in our query though. Where are we? Here, okay. So here we can do our category. And then we can find here in our meta dot category, I believe. Category. And then we can do meta category. I guess slug. Oh. equals perfect. So we can see that we have these having the category of love in them. We can also do something like community. Spiritual habits. Perfect. So that's all working, but actually what we want to do is set it to be in category, because what we want to do is let's log our category. So we get that, but then if we do this and love, we get love and spiritual habits. Okay, so I want to look again at our payload documentation, and then let's look at the local API, because we should have, this is actually not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for querying your documents. And then in here, I want to see what operators I have. So I want to see here. Okay, so if we do all, that will only show messages with all of these together. But if we do one, we're good. Okay, so then we can do, I don't know if it has to be in this order though. It has to be in order. So that's a little too strict, I think. So all is reported only in the MongoDB adapter. That's fine, that's what I'm using. So I guess in works. So if it's in there, we're good. And then we can just keep adding. Let's do so in order for this to work, then we would want to have all of our, oh, this is I'm getting deep into this now. All right, so components, we're going to do a new directory, and we want to do our categories. We're going to create a new file called component.tsx. And in this component, we're going to import type of category from payload types, and then we're going to want our get payload from payload, import config, yeah, let's get the config promise, and then we're going to export a constant, just categories equals async, and then we're going to want categories, yeah. So we can return interesting. How are we going to do this? So we can return div categories just for now. I think I'm going to need to use client, but I'm not quite sure yet. So we'll hold off. But we can get all of our categories, so we can do categories is equal to await get payload get payload, and then we need our config promise. This is payload, so const payload. All right, now we can get categories equals await payload dot find. You need a collection of categories, and we'll do an empty where query just so we get everything, and we want all of them, so we'll do limit of 0. And then what we can do, I'm not going to love this, but we're going to do it to start. We can do a div of categories, but in this div we're going to do categories dot, let's do then res dot docs categories dot map category, and then I don't want to do that. I would rather do like a span should be fine. And then I know we need a key, and we can do category ID. And then here we'll do, I don't have Tailwind installed, so I'm gonna have to actually do some real styling. So let's just get these up first. All right, so we have our featured message. This should go above pages. So we'll do a div, and then we'll pull in our categories from our component. And this should just bring in all of our categories here. Yep, in the worst possible way. Cool, so because what I want to do is, I think this is how it's going to work. If I do router push, router use router, so what I want to do is whenever someone clicks on whenever somebody clicks on one of these, what will end up being chips, it adds it automatically to the URL. But I guess what I can do I need to think about that for a second. It should be imported in .NextRouter when using the app router. Use path name. Use search params. So, how to push values to URL params. That should work with JavaScript. Adding a parameter to a URL. Not even with JavaScript. With React. Not even with React. NextJS. Just be super specific here. All right, so let's see what this has. All right, search params, okay. So we have the URL search param, defines utility methods to work. So I think this then comes as, all right, so let's see. Create a new, then append to that. All right, so what we would do is this would need to be a use client thing. So I have to think about how I want that to work, because I could either fetch using the REST API, or I could bury and I don't know how that would work. So yes, I think I need to use client. And then I know I can't use an async here. And so that I can't use our, can I not use async? I just want to make sure. I don't think I can. Didn't think so. Okay. I just had to double check. Okay. So now we want to do our oh, I don't do a lot of client-side fetching here. So fetch API. Here we go, because I want to be able to do these as a button and set this to be role of button. And with each of those buttons will need an on-click. But what I need to do is first get all of these to be different. So what we're going to do is, okay, I guess we'll do we'll just do what they're doing here. So let's pull in a use state, and we'll get categories, set categories, and we'll set this to be null to start. Let's just go ahead and get rid of these because I'm not going to be able to use that. And then, yes, use effect. So smart. Thanks, PyCharm. Don't think I need categories there. Import. All right, so now what we're going to do is in the use effect, we are going to do an async function that will await our so await fetch. Yes, I know I need that. API categories. Is that really what it is? Editing. I don't use the REST API for this very often, so this is a little outside of what I normally do. But I do understand I can't do server-side rendering here with what I'm trying to do, and that is okay. So let's go to our categories, and then we'll just pull in here and find the API. Okay, that's the one. So we're going to get all of our categories. Then, so we're awaiting fetch of this. We'll get our data set equal, then res JSON set. Okay, so I'm gonna name the function async function fetch categories. Okay, so then we'll do const data equals await res JSON, then data. don't need this. That's that error there. And then we will fetch categories. Categories is possibly null. So categories, so we can just set it as an empty array instead. All right, so this should load back up and we should have a bunch of, log categories. Let's see what we get. We get an empty array. So if I log my data, nothing. Okay. So I think I need to actually do my whole route here. So I think, can I just do local host? I just don't know what my, that. All right. Categories.map is not a function. Don't know what that means. Well, it's not a function because I have an empty array being returned. So I'm getting 2 logs right now. One is undefined. Well, it's the same. Well, hold on. So we have const res equals await fetch. That's right. Let's make sure API categories. Yes. All right, hold on. Let me take this off to the side right quick to look at my environment variables to see if I have my API. I haven't done client-side fetching in so long. I mean, this should be right. So if we do, oops. Process.env dot base URL. Right half, okay. All right, more promising. So if we go back to this here, if there is no category, because we want to make sure that everything still shows up. Returns false. Well, I mean, that gets us back in the game, right? Guess not. All right, so we get rid of this. All right, so everything's back in now. So we want to make sure that if we do our category, we want to make sure that it doesn't, if it's undefined, that it doesn't derail everything. So let's see if it's in. All right, so in interesting. Okay, so we want to be able to still render everything if no category is defined. But if a category is defined, we'll also want it to but I don't know if I can just add this. Can I do... I don't think that's going to work like I want it to, but we'll give it a shot real quick. So if we do, wrap this up real quick, do category. Make sure all of this is still right. Does not appear to be so. Okay, so we want to make sure that so if category, we can return category, otherwise undefined. Maybe null might bring everything back in. I really just don't want, like, if it's undefined or there's nothing in category, then undefined API categories. This isn't private, so oh, well, thanks for dropping in. 3 a.m. is real late. So this is currently undefined. Can I do... So fetch. So we're going to try this again with our... local host. Hey there, welcome. I'm just struggling with client-side rendering right now. Haven't missed much. But maybe, hold on, so if we do category. What is this asking for? Then what? I didn't think so. All right, so we're taking our example from NextJS real quick. So we have our use state categories and set categories. Use state is set to an empty array. We're using using a use effect to open up an async function called fetch categories, which then gets our response by awaiting fetch our API, and then data await res. I don't know. Let's see. Nope. Boo. All right. So this is not working like I want it to, but doesn't need to do this, because if we go back, way back in time, if I can even undo this far back, we can't. Wow. All right. So we're going to do just const payload equals get payload. That's wrong. And then we'll get our categories set equal to wait payload dot oh, I need to await get payload up here. This is why you don't just rely on auto completion. All right, await payload find. And then we need to do an async here. And then, you know, I remember seeing this in, if I do, let's go back to PayloadCMS. Let's finish this up first. Categories. And res total, total pages, total docs. All right. Just docs. There we go. All right, so this should bring back our buttons here, but our buttons can't really do much right now because I need to use onClick, but onClick is a use client method, function, whatever. So we'll have to figure that out in a second. Because what I could do is we would pass in the category, and then I could do an onClick and then have that push. Okay, I think we're good. I'll see that here in a second, but what I really do need to figure out is in here, when we get our category, we get undefined. This is PyCharm. I actually started coding with PyCharm, so, or I guess just in Python in general, so that's what I kind of got stuck with. I like it. Its web development only side is WebStorm, which I actually prefer over VS Code. There is a community version for it, so it's free. IDE is the correct term, so good job. But yeah, so this is PyCharm. If you're just doing if you're not doing anything Python related, just get WebStorm. So everything that I'm using is in WebStorm. But it's all by JetBrains. All right, so in category. Category is undefined, question mark. Well, if I just set this to be, I can't just set it to be in. That's going to break something. They must be found. Yeah, I like Python. It was actually how I started and got into web development, so highly encourage going into it. But obviously, so reason I wanted to do more web development than data processing, so I still know Python, I still use it on occasion to communicate with like APIs and all that. But I've been doing more web development stuff, which is why I'm more into like JavaScript and this side of things. But anyway, so must contain the value entered in. I wonder if I can do something like. Okay, so now if I can do category, and if so, we can keep category, otherwise do an empty string. So we have undefined now. Now if we do, okay, good so far. If we add another, okay, so that's where the problem is. So can I then do, I don't think I can. So if I do, so the thing that I'm running into is I want this to be an array, which that's not going to help. Oops. Because if I do in, I don't need this anymore. We have our comma delimited list, but if we then get rid of our category, we now have an empty array and nothing happens. So we need a way to get all of our, here, let's see. Const category lookup. I mean, we could do this. Here. So let's do category lookup where, so all of this is going to be a where query. Okay, and then we can do category lookup. And so here then we can do equals, so category. Otherwise, we can then just get everything. So if there's a better way to do this, I don't know it. Let's set this back to be undefined. There we go. So we have everything there. And now I should be able to do a category. And then we can do another category just to make sure it works. Okay. So interesting way to do that, but got it done. All right. So now we want to be able to then use these buttons here to push our router, or sorry, push the categories to the URL. So in our categories, we're going to define a new directory, which is going to be our category chip. And in there, we're going to have a new file called component.tsx. And here, this is going to be use client, and we're going to export a constant called category chip. And the category chip is going to take a, I should just be able to do category, which is going to be type category from payload. And here we're going to return category name, but not quite. We're going to return this. And so what we'll do in here, we don't need the key here. We will need it elsewhere. But we do need the roll of button, and then we're going to need on click here in a second. So let's just get something blank here. Then what we're going to do is do a const of click handler. And on click, what we want to do is, oh, I still needed that. Well, let's see. So first we can do our, how do I define this? Here we go, an example. So we're going to then do our const search params. We'll log this just in case. Oh, I think this will work. Okay, and then on click handler, what this is going to do is we can do router, and we're not going to push categories here, but we're going to use I'll just do how they did it. Search params. Oh, we can do this. All right, search params. Category slug, yes. And then I guess we can do plus. All right, so I have no idea what this is going to do, but I can come in here and hit click handler. And then we come back over here and we look at our categories, and if I click wisdom, nothing happens, but let's go ahead. What do we have? Router push. What is happening here? Promise return from push is ignored. So let's go ahead and log our search params. All right. Promise return from push is ignored. All right, so we can do, can I do this? Use search params. Next navigation, to string. so let's come here. And that way on click. Oh, of course, duh. So here we need to add our category chip, which will need a key of category.id, and of course it'll need a category. All right, so let's try this again. Go ahead and give that a refresh. All right, and then if I click this, so our router hold on. So if I look at router push, if I do our search params, I mean, the problem now, so is router push not, here, can I do async? I don't know if I can. Oh, wait. All right, so I don't think router is what I'm trying to do. Oh my gosh. Import use router from router from next navigation. Sometimes autocomplete just doesn't do what it needs to be doing. I don't know if this is going to fix the issue, but it should get me closer, I think. Okay. It is getting me closer. So now what we need to do, though, is this. All right, so now we are getting somewhere. I'm going to wrap this up and then call it quits after that. So now, okay, we have our search params. To string, and then we add okay. So this is not the most beautiful version of this, because we'll also want to figure out a different way to unset it. So, but what we need to do before I call it quits here, first let's just go here. Okay, so this needs to include that's not going to do anything here. We could also do because what happens if interesting, will that work? Instead of push, doing set. So if I do that, oh. No, okay. So yes, I get all the stress and you get all the relaxation. Alright, so that's not going to work, right? So if search param has category, otherwise, I think I can do... So if search params has category, let's just log true, not type of, log true. So right now that should be false. Log false. Oh, this is click handler. All right. So this is not going to work like I thought it was going to. But I wonder if I go to the search plugin, there's an example of this, I think. Let's just go to the GitHub instead of trying to figure all this out. We can go to examples. Don't think they have the search here. But go back to payload, templates. We can go to our website template, source, search. Is it here? For sync? No, I think it's not even in here, I don't think. I think it's use debounce that I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. So this may be close to what I'm trying to find. And if that's the case, I am actually going to just call it a night, I think. So debounced value. No, okay. So what we can do is back in here. We don't need to use the debounced value, but what we can do is we're still going to use a click handler because we're not typing. So there is an action that we can do. Okay. So here, router push. So we can do, I wonder, is it really that simple? did I just need to put the, so if I add, okay, so I need to do messages. Oh, okay, why does it keep adding category though? Okay, so now what is our, so let's log search params, and we'll do toString. Okay, so we can do something like search params to string starts with category, do plus, starts with category. If it does, we will include this, otherwise empty string. Oh, so no, it should just be regular category slug. We'll see if this works. Did not expect this to be so difficult. I think it's because I haven't tried doing something like this before. And that usually is not a good place. This is not a good place to try that. All right, so now you don't need this then. Plus okay. So use search params. So when true, it starts with category, should return the category slug. Refresh. Okay. Category. Got our push. Got our messages. All right, so I'm not going to be able to do this right now, which is fine. So we will want to come to our page, and we'll come back to our categories because I'm not sure. Oh, what did I have here? Category selection. Okay. I'm tired of struggling with this, so we will come back to a way to do these categories later. Oh, you're not. Yeah, it's fine. I'm speaking into the void as well. I'm really just trying to get my thought process out and get better at live coding, so it's been an adventure. Okay, so we have our component to get all of our categories. We know what we're doing here. The problem is that I need to find a way to just push an array. I mean, honestly, what we could do, and I will just do one more thing, is we could just do this so that when we click on any of these, it'll just bring me to that category. So instead of having, okay, yep, I like this. So let's design this real quick and then call it quits. So in our button, we'll have a class name, and we'll do classes dot category chip. Then we're going to import classes from there, which does not exist yet. And in our category chip, we'll do a new file called index.module.scss. Add, and we can do a category chip. And in here, we'll do we should also do class name classes.category container. And so I think that this is just going to be classes category container, import classes from index.module.scss. And so first we're going to create another file, index.module.scss. This is going to be a category container, and we'll just do a display flex wrap prep. We can do a gap of like 0.5 rem. Then in this we'll do, oh wait, we should also do and here we could probably just do flex of, we want it to grow, we don't want it to shrink, and we can do what's we can do something like 12 on one line. Thought I could do more advanced math than this. I probably can. I haven't used Cloudinary for image uploads, and I haven't looked at it. I don't know if there's not like an adapter or anything for it, but you can use a custom adapter using Payload. I do know that much. SCSS math. Okay. So if I do at use SAS math, I know I've done this before. Hold on. Let's just do 25%. Oh. Okay, we're first. Okay. Getting a bunch of console logs there. So now, refresh. Okay, so let's also do category chip is right. So we can do padding. Let's just see if this works. Yep, sure does. Then we can do border, radius. Yeah, we can do include BG pill, which we then need to use. There we go. And then we can do background, secondary brand color, or we can do light primary, which I don't think I need color. I think it's just light primary. And then we can do text, or sorry, just color. Not collapse. Color. Dark. Oh, brand dark blue. It should be brand light blue. All that looks fine. Category. Display flip. Oh, I didn't spell this right. That's why that's not working right. Okay. So instead of padding, because we're not going to need that, or maybe we will, but I don't think so, we're then going to set our flex to be 1 divided by 12 times 100. %. We want it to grow, we don't want it to shrink. Okay, maybe we do. Oh, that's what I need to do. Calc. Okay. So this should have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I guess max of 12. But I don't like how that... So the flex basis thing is not really necessary. Alright, so... But what we can do is here we will justify content evenly. Maybe we'll do space around. Okay. Let's try that again. Space between. That's fine. Okay, and then the container top will have a margin of, it's going to be more than 1 rem for sure. Top can do 2 rem maybe? There we go. And so now, yeah, I don't like this right now. So what we're gonna do is, until we can actually style this how we want and all of that stuff, we'll just comment this out. But we have done a little bit of work that we should commit. So let's go ahead and do that now and make sure everything is still working. So we can do git commit, fix pagination, so that's fine. And then we will, let's make sure source app. I need to make sure that this does not get added. Just because it's not ready. Well, I mean, it built. It's okay. We'll hit push. I don't think that's right. Okay. So I want to make sure, though, if we go to our messages config, messages, collections, config here. All right, so we're gonna do this again, actually. So we don't need, no, that's our link, that's fine. Summary, all right, so then we have our hooks. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do that again. And then we'll just make sure that all of this worked fine, and then we will call it a night because I am hungry. Here, I have that in my Safari tabs. Here, I'm over in my Vercel stuff. I don't think there's anything private here. Not really, anyway. Why is this just preview? Just queued. Oh, it's building. What is happening? Okay, here I'm gonna bring this back over. Deployments. Here, I can cancel this deployment. Cancel. All right, so now I have a deployment going, and we just need to wait for that to finish. And so, what just happened there? We didn't really do much of the to-do list I needed to do, but we did fix one of the issues that I had, so we will probably just go down the list next time we do this. Some of the things that I want to fix that we did not, excuse me, is in here over in our AP, or not, Admin UI. If I can pull it up right. In here, we've got our messages, and then all of these have this sidebar, which is fine. I like the sidebar. But the problem is that I decided for some reason in my API, my sidebar should be a group. So I want to make sure that instead of having this here, I can set a, I can just remove this. And so I was going to use the onInit function, but of course there's considerations for the live site. I want to make sure I don't delete anything. So that means that I would need to do this very carefully. So that's one thing that we'll want to be working on. One thing that's interesting here is going to this, we can see that as soon as it loads, give is in the URL, which means that I can't click on this link, which is /give. So I want to fix that too. So I think next time I'm going to be a little bit more organized and strategic and just go down each of this list, and then anything else. So like I can move this now. Anything that I don't want to do, I can just move. Oops. Like move or delete if it's not something I want to do. All right. So let's make sure I can do. Our build seems to be almost done. Still generating. Oh, the pages have just generated fully. So we're just going to check our message. Like the pagination that we did for a few things. But we gotta wait for the build to finish first. And I don't want to share the screen that I'm looking at because I don't know what's really on it. But I could actually do, yeah, there we go. There, so I'm looking at this duration here. It's been a couple minutes. Still building. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so don't know really what do we talk about? Okay, it's ready now. Good. I don't have to make up any conversation now. All right, so now what we can do is, it'll still take a second, but we can go to the actual website again. We can get rid of this. So now what should happen is if I go to our messages page, this should now, I guess maybe it hasn't fully gone through yet, because if I click this, it still gives me the different pages. Here, let's do an incognito window. Okay, so did my build not work? Okay. So let's see what happens. Man, did all that work we did just not do anything? All right, well, next step is let's see if I'm able to use blocks again. So if I go into my pages, I go into here where I was running into issues, and then I can go to our layout and add block. Okay, so at least that works again. But now, if we go to let's go to series. Leave. Interesting. So what this should be doing is not this. It should have the queries for the pages rather than what we're seeing now. So we will try one more thing. Go back to our incognito, not localhost. Go here, there. Okay, now really one more thing. Okay, so it works there. Maybe it just hasn't rolled all the way out. Let's see. Well, we have our domains here. Environment staged. Is this not in production? Promote to production. And now it's got to build again. So I'm not going to hold you guys here for that. It's time for me to log off. So I do appreciate everybody watching, sticking around, watching from all over the world. Had somebody from Germany, had somebody from Australia, just tuning in and listening in, and just, as someone else said, putting me on in the background and just getting the enjoyment out of the coding without the stress of the coding. I got to deal with all the stress, so you're welcome. But if you did like this, I do this at least once a week. I'm trying to get back up to more, but we're in the middle of a few personal things happening right now. So I'll be back at it relatively regularly. So just as the normal promotions, yesterday the access control video came out. Next week I'm really excited. I've got like an 1.5 hour long video coming out that's all about setting up a customer flow. So using PayloadCMS to create another auth-enabled collection called customers. So that one's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. If you liked this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like it. All of that stuff supports the channel and its growth, and I really appreciate that. Today had a Tailwind video come out. Next week is another Tailwind video, and then I'm going to start bringing in some NextJS stuff because clearly I need it. So I'm going to start doing some research on some scripts there. But again, appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.